One of the questions that I get most often from students is, how does a poem happen? And that's an extraordinary question. And I think the answer varies from poet to poet. But for me, a poem happens by the fusion of witness, the page, and revision, and more revision, and more revision. This is how the poem happens. For instance, I was there that night, the night of my wedding, to witness my wife, who turned 21 years old 3 days before our wedding and chose our reception that evening as the perfect moment to try alcoholic beverages for the first time in her life. And after witnessing the drama and the love and the horror that ensued, I went to the page and I wrote. And then I revised. And I revised some more and still revised some more until I had this little love poem that I'd like to share with you now. But please, do me a favor, for my safety and yours. If you ever meet my beautiful Puerto Rican wife, who, by the way, hates poetry, please don't tell her I recited this poem in front of all these cameras and these people. This is called The Bride's Sister from 16 Candles. On the night we wed, you said, pour me one more time than you should have. You turned into the bride's sister from 16 Candles, all slur and stumble. You refused to take your wedding gown off. Because as you said between muffled sobs, I look so damn pretty. Why are you crying? Don't blame me. Blame Bartles. Blame James. They make alcohol that tastes like Kool-Aid. Hey, Kool-Aid, oh yeah, you said, mimicking the robust red pitcher we all came to love as a child. You kissed me hard on the mouth and pushed me by my face. Out of my way, it's my night, sucker. I played host to 30 of our closest friends while you inflicted love and destruction upon everything in your path like a beautiful bridezilla. Later that night, I saw you standing on the balcony alone. You were laughing. I approached you, put my arms around you, you leaned back on me, and I whispered in your ear, my wife. It was the first time in my life I had ever uttered those words. Why are you laughing? I've been lifting my gown and showing my panties to anyone that walks by. It's funny. I'm sleepy. Take me to bed. I carried you to our bedroom, and you collapsed face down onto our bed, with and without grace, the most beautifully clumsy pile of lace the world would ever know. Now, after writing that poem, I find myself still married to my wife all these years later. And she still finds so many different ways to inspire me, but she's more than just the archetypal muse. This is a woman who's dynamic and intelligent and powerful and so much smarter and stronger than I. She finds a way to inspire me even when she's not trying to inspire me, like just the other night. I'm a writer, so I stay up late when most people are sleeping. And I was up late at night in our office, the office that I share with my wife, and I was watching a documentary on my laptop. And it was a documentary about high-altitude mountain climbing and how deathly it is. I learned from that documentary that whenever anyone dies in that world from ice crumbling under their feet and that person falling to their death, or ice crumbling above them and crushing them, in that world, that death is categorized as traumatic. That's what they call it. I finished the documentary and I closed my laptop and I looked over beside me to where my wife sits, and I noticed her laptop was still open, and I went to close her laptop for her, but I noticed her homepage was up, and it's just sort of a MSNBC kind of page with news on it, and the story that was up and the headline caught my eye, and I read it, and it read, "Transgender woman dies while in ICE custody." And I read the article in its entirety. And then I researched other such atrocities and read more articles, and then I researched more, and then I went to the page and I wrote, and I revised, and I revised, and I revised, until I had this. This is called categorized as traumatic, or 7 ways to stay safe while traveling over, through, or near ice. For Roxana Hernandez Rodriguez. 1, if at all possible, avoid any areas where there are reports of ice present, as even small amounts of ice can be deadly. 2, it is true what they say about ice. It is just as deceptive during the day as it is at night. For this reason and so many others, move only during certain hours of the day and try never to come across ice alone. 3, remember, ice can hold you in its grasp for days on end, so carry water with you to avoid dehydration and blankets for warmth. 4, let family know when you have left, where you are going, and when you plan to arrive. Who would have thought the simple act of communication could help us survive ice? 5, if ice forces you to stop, pull safely off the highway. Turn on your hazards. If you have a distress flag, hang it from your car antenna. Leave the emergency flares untouched in your trunk. Do not step out of the car. Remain safe inside. Stay together until someone finds you. 6, if while traveling by foot you see ice ahead in the distance, stop. Grab the hand of the one you are traveling with. Do not let go. Never let go. Just turn and move with great caution in the opposite direction. 7, when you find yourself anywhere near ice, listen to your body. Do not be afraid when the shivering sets in. That spasmodic contracting and relaxing of flesh is your body's way of telling you to get someplace safe. For me, it doesn't matter if the ultimate goal of the poem is to make someone smile or to make someone feel and charge and change this ridiculously wrong world that we all live in on certain days. Maybe the poem seeks only to bring light to this beautiful life that was and this horrible death that was. But whatever the poem's purpose, I challenge each and every one of you to never forget to witness, and never forget to go to the page, and never forget to revise and revise and revise even more. My life has been saved in a very real way by poetry. Who knows? the poem you write might save someone's life. Who knows? The life that's saved just might be your own. Thank you.